Hello and welcome to Startup Street. I'm Arundhati Ramnan, and with me as always Shruti Mishra and Ritu Singh. These are the top headlines from the startup world. Edtech platform Leap has raised $65 million in a mix of primary and secondary equity in Series E funding round led by Apis Growth Markets Fund 3 and Apis Global Growth Fund 3. Existing investors Owl Ventures, Jungle Ventures and Peak 15 partners also participated.
SaaS firm Atomic Work has secured $25 million in Series A funding led by Khosla Ventures and Z47. The startup plans to utilize the funding towards expanding its go-to-market efforts and enhance integration capabilities with enterprise systems to handle large-scale deployments.
Veloz Fintech, a part of the Lemon Group, has raised 140 crore rupees for its Opportunities Fund that offers venture debt and pre-IPO funding to MSMEs with ticket sizes ranging from 1 crore rupees to 20 crore rupees, targeting an 18% return. The fund aims to reach its 200 crore rupee target corpus by March, maintaining a sector-agnostic approach to support over 20 companies.
Zomato-backed e-commerce logistics firm ShipRocket has converted into a public company as it prepares for an IPO through a special resolution passed by its shareholders. The board at ShipRocket has approved a resolution to change its status to a public company and rename it from ShipRocket Private Limited to ShipRocket Limited as per regulatory filing.
Elon Musk's social media platform X has unveiled its digital wallet and peer-to-peer payment service X Money in partnership with Visa. Linda Yaccarino, CEO of X, shared the news in a post confirming that the X Money account will debut later this year. Those were the headlines that we're tracking for you this evening. But on What's Brewing today, Leap, a full-stack international student mobility platform, has raised $65 million through a mix of primary and secondary equity. The round was led by Apis Growth Markets Fund 3 and Apis Global Growth Fund 3. Existing investors, including Owl Ventures, Jungle Ventures and Peak 15 partners, also participated in the round. Avendus Capital was an exclusive financial advisor to Leap and their shareholders in this round. Joining me now to discuss this further is Arnav Kumar, the co-founder of Leap. Arnav, thank you so much for taking time out and being here with us on Startup Street. You know, first up, after this fundraise, what's the current valuation of Leap? Have you joined the Unicorn Club?
Thank you for having me on the show, Arundhati. I've been a fan of the show and great to be here. Obviously, it's a big moment for us. I think very happy with the fact that we have been able to secure this new round of financing. We have never shared our valuation publicly, internally or externally, so that's a metric that we don't talk about much. I think it's a metric that causes as much joy as it causes grief to companies. What we are very excited about and what I can share is since the last round of funding that we raised, we have now grown revenue 5x and we have turned EBITDA positive, which I think is a big milestone in our journey, and we are super excited about these numbers. And I think as valuation is a number that follows, we are very squarely focused on the top line and the bottom line. Very happy to have broken into this EBITDA positive club, which I think is a much bigger club than the Unicorn Valuation Club.
So chasing that profitability mark, which is more important to you, but not letting us know whether you're in that Unicorn Club or not. But, you know, we'll get into details of that in just a bit. But Leap is a full-stack international student mobility platform. So before we get into the numbers and all of that, if you could sort of share with us what it is, what your range of services are, which, you know, includes test preparation, admissions and visa counseling, as well as financial support, right, for all of these international student loans. So if you could take us through the kind of impact you've created for your students and which part of your business is seeing the most amount of demand?
Sure. So great question. Again, maybe I'll just give you a very quick brief on what we are as a platform, right? So we are the world's first full stack platform for global education. What it means that anything that a student needs, and we see like these millions of young students who have global aspirations now targeting a global career and a global education. What we offer to them is a full stack platform where they can come and get whatever they need in this journey. So for example, for a lot of them, the journey starts at the point of research. So we run the world's largest international student community. We have more than 2 million members registering with us every year. So that's where they come, talk to seniors, talk to peers, crystallize their goals, which country, which course they want to go to. So that's the first part of our platform. The second part is obviously once they've formed up their decision, they start working with a college counselor or a college coach to maximize their chance of getting into the best university in the right stream, which offers whatever is in line with their career choices. So that's the second part of the platform. The third is obviously every student has to give an exam, right? It could be GRE, GMAT, or it could be one of the English sort of proficiency exams. So that's again something we offer on the platform. Students can come, prepare, get better at these exams, and ultimately take the exam. And then once a student has gotten into a university of their choice, we offer financing to these students because that's a big need in the market, and merit and means often don't go hand in hand. So we provide financing to these students, and then afterwards, like whether it's support with visa, accommodation, credit cards, debit cards, insurance, settling in a new country, job support there, all of that is provided by Leap as a platform. And we have taken a platform first online approach to this market, and we are seeing a lot of goodness coming out of that because we are now able to serve a very wide variety of students, right? So that's the journey of a student on the platform.
Right. So it's a full, like as you were pointing out, it's a full stack platform for, the entire journey of a student, essentially. So you've raised the $65 million. If you could quickly tell us, because we're running out of time, where will the funds go? If you could take us through what's new on the anvil and how big of a role will AI play?
Yeah, so absolutely. I think you're bang on. I think we are seeing this industry sort of transform with the use of technology, especially AI. Because finally, this is an information industry. Like we are helping students take career decisions by looking at from the millions of options they have of where they can study, university, course, and all of that, down to saying, hey, these are the 3 ones that you should really target, and how do you maximize your chances there? So we are seeing the information search costs drop rapidly as AI takes over. So that's one of the big areas of focus in the coming sort of 12 months is how do we use modern technologies, both generative AI as well as the ability of AI to make sense of a lot of data to make this easier for students and be able to cater to a wide variety of students across the world. So that's one key focus area. Secondly, since the last time we raised money, we have now entered 10 international markets. So going deeper into those markets and expanding in those markets where we're seeing humongous demand, that's the second sort of focus area. And then we have some opportunistic M&A opportunities that we are eyeing. So that's the third use of funds. So these are the 3 reasons why we sort of raise money, because operationally we are EBITDA positive. So
operationally, your EBITDA positive is what you're saying. So if you could take us through where your revenues are currently at, and how soon till you turn profitable, right, fully, and what's the revenue mix between the geographies and where do you hope for it to be?
Sure. So I think your first question is where are we in terms of revenue? We are in late double digits of $1 million in terms of revenue. And as I said, we have sort of turned EBITDA positive for FY24. This year, we will turn PAT positive. So that's the goal that we are chasing right now. We make sort of revenues come through both the student counseling business, the test prep business, and some freemium platforms so people purchase premium subscriptions, and the financing business. Then we have a value-added services business that I talked about, insurance and sort of Forex and a lot of that. And we also help universities market themselves to students. So this is how these are the 4 revenue lines that we have. And the big ones are obviously financing and the sort of counseling business. And today the revenue is sort of almost a little skewed towards the counseling premium sort of upsell and the university marketing business. But as over time, we expect financing and the counseling business to settle at a 50-50 sort of revenue share.
Right, absolutely. And, a final question before we let you go. You've served over 1 million students. What are students looking at studying in, and in which countries are Indian students eyeing? If you could take us through some trends that you've seen.
Yeah, no, so interestingly, every year the demand for global education sort of shifts. We are seeing some very interesting trends. One heartening trend is a lot of students are now diversifying beyond engineering and medicine. So we see a lot of demand for, courses in, for example, design. Design is a big one that's coming up. The popular courses like sort of computer science and now AI, a lot of interest in AI related courses that's coming up. But in terms of your top geographies, we are seeing very, very strong. I think UK remains very, very strong in terms of demand. Ireland is growing very fast, especially for digital jobs like digital marketing and design and all of that. Germany is one that has picked up really well in the last sort of couple of years. I think for a lot of engineering heavy courses, that's popular. And one that we are seeing a lot of demand for now this year is France. So I think US remains a strong, one of the largest geographies where Indian students go. So that market remains very strong. But we are seeing some new countries that I named, Ireland, France, Germany, UK, they coming up like very, very strongly in terms of student preferences. And in terms of streams, it's heartening to see students diversify beyond engineering and medicine and going into a bunch of these streams such as design, project management, luxury management, psychology. So we are seeing a lot of demand for courses like this.
Right. So lots of interesting trends that you're seeing over there. But Arnav, thank you so much for joining us on the show today. And we wish you all the best on this journey going forward.
Thank you so much. And thank you for having me again. It's a pleasure.
Absolutely.
All right. Also on What's Brewing today, a new Chinese artificial intelligence model R1 created by the Hangzhou-based startup DeepSeek has stunned the American AI industry by outperforming some of OpenAI's leading models, displacing ChatGPT at the top of the iOS App Store and usurping Meta as the leading provider of open source AI tools. Now, DeepSeek's R1 is an impressive model, particularly around what they're able to deliver. For the price, we will obviously deliver much better models, and also it's legit invigorating to have a new competitor. We will pull up some releases. That's what OpenAI founder Sam Altman said, and he tweeted that. To discuss what the Made in China AI model means for the global AI race and how ready is India to get ahead in the race and more, joining me now are Narendra Bhandari, the general partner at C-Fund, and Bruce Key, the co-founder and CEO of Investor AI. Gentlemen, welcome to Startup Street. Narendra, let me start with you. Now, while China and the US compete to claim their domination over AI, how ready is India to get ahead in the race? And in terms of infrastructure, capital, innovation, talent, what should India do to maintain its edge now that the stakes are global?
Thanks for having us. I think the space has definitely opened up. It's actually a fantastic opportunity for India. We can get ahead or at least get competitive by not just investing in infrastructure, but having a clear path and a strategy around talent. The good news about what has happened over the last literally over 1 week is that it's clear that you could build something really world-class at cost models which were unimaginable in the past. So I look at this as a fantastic opportunity for India to get ahead. I look at this as a need for not just the hardware and capital, but also the software talent of the country to come ahead, and we really don't need very large teams. We'll talk about that.
Don't, now it's done, I've said. All right. To Bruce now. Artificial intelligence needs R&D, and DeepSeek has changed the compute required and therefore the accessibility to entrepreneurs. Bruce, while one still needs capital, do you believe this has created a level playing field between startups and high-tech companies? Your views on this?
Firstly, I think it's great. We've for the last 18 months been reading about how the US big tech companies have been cornering the market in chips and really trying to get a bit of a beachhead when it comes to AI and AI development. And what this has done is it's completely changed that. It's leveled the playing field. So, we're now all in with a chance. So that's step one. But step two, with for me, the real kind of shining light to come out of here is it's a great reminder that small companies or small groups of talented people who are resource constrained can build great things. So innovation comes from those resource constrained talented people. It doesn't necessarily come from big companies. I've seen that in terms of some of the things that we've built on AI. And I think what this has done is it's leveled that playing field, and it's given a lot of people an opportunity to come in and to make a difference. And given the existing talent in India,
Sure.
the opportunity now is right there.
All right. Let me go across to Narendra again. Narendra, C-Fund is a deep tech focused fund. How can deep tech funds like yours help India grow its prowess with deep tech and Gen AI technologies? And to do this, how big is there a need for large software giants to collaborate as well?
So C-Fund is focused on backing founders which are really passionate about building deep technology. As partners, we have built businesses. We have been part of very large tech companies. We've been part of startups. We understand the technology network. We can work with the founders, and more importantly, we have patience to work with them as they build their tech out. We also try to build not just the business, but bring financial acumen and business acumen so that as they build their journey and take their deep technology into market, the pitfalls and the roadblocks which are needed, we sort of help them take. We've made investments in energy. We made investments in robotics. We made investments in EV technologies. We're going to do more in semiconductors. We're going to do more in space tech over the next month or two. We'd love to come and talk to you more about it. And we're constantly looking at how some basic AI-powered SaaS models can also take India into the next step, because SaaS has been a pretty strong play. But then if we don't power it with very strong AI capabilities at the back end, that's going to become a commodity. So we'd love to talk to founders in that space.
All right, let's now talk about investor AI. Bruce, you work in the listed entities segment. You've rolled out a Gen AI product with some of your customers. Who have you partnered with currently? And share with us the impact you hope to make with your offering that has been built in India on the back of Indian tech talent.
So firstly, I'm really proud that we've built everything in India. At Investor AI, we partner with IFL, we partner with Yes Securities, with 5Paisa, with Access, with Jujit. But if you want to sort of really taste the Gen AI piece and the chatbot piece, you'll find that on HDFC Securities, you'll find that on JM Financial, you'll find that on PL. And what it is it's a chat AI called Vani, with one A. And what Vani aims to do is it aims to educate, it aims to help you explore and kind of find the right things. You still execute through your broker, and then it helps you explain. So it explains to you kind of what's happened. So it really is trying to, on that journey, help you with the educate, the explore, and the explain piece.
Okay, Narendra, we are pressed for time. We discussed the fact that there's no denying that the government has to be an important stakeholder if India has to emerge as an AI power at a global stage. What kind of support should the government provide, not just to tech startups, but deep tech funds also who have the expertise, the network, and the access to latest innovation? If you could answer that quickly.
Sure. 2 or 3 levels. One is the research allocation, which the Honorable Finance Minister talked about, over the last few budget speeches. We need to make sure there's a very clear chunk allocated towards, funds which can go invest in deep tech and manage that innovation. Second, government as a buyer of deep technology is a critical component. They need to work with Indian startups. The defense or the armed forces have done a fantastic job. Now we need to expand that, and take it across the industry. Third, the research aspect, the research angle in India, the dollars which have been spent with MeitY and DST and other, government institutions, look at them and see if we can channelize that towards building strong capability, measurable capability within the AI space in India.
Bruce, with the union budget right around the corner, I have to ask, actually, the both of you, what are your budget expectations, keeping in mind how the world order is showing clear focus on AI? Bruce?
So I think there's some really clear things we can do. The first thing is we need energy. So if you're going to run lots of data centers, you need the infrastructure. So I think the government's push so far and the ongoing push on infrastructure and energy remains a really important one. I think the really interesting thing that India can do differently from everyone else, India's produced some really interesting protocols through DPI. And I think there's a need for a DPI protocol around an AI ecosystem with data exchanges and processes. And I think in doing that, we can actually change the whole research and development piece, particularly in areas like healthcare. So using that same idea, so UPI is world leading, we could do the same in AI. And then finally, I think, if DeepSeek's taught us anything, it's taught us that, small teams can do great things. So I think I would like to see the budget look out for SMEs, and whether that's on space or whether that's match funding, I think it can do quite a lot there as well.
One quick comment, Narendra, on this. Your biggest
Ministry of AI. We would love to have a Ministry of AI which has components of infrastructure, talent, research, and managed tech funding, for the startups. So, Honorable Finance Minister, I'm sure would consider our request.
All right. Thank you, gentlemen, for your time today on Startup Street. Wish you the very best, and thanks again very much for joining us today.
Thanks for having us.
Also, a quick update, Microsoft and OpenAI are investigating whether data from ChatGPT Maker's technology was obtained in an unauthorized manner by a group linked to Chinese AI startup DeepSeek. Now, according to a Bloomberg report, Microsoft security researchers observed that in the fall, individuals they believe to be connected to DeepSeek exfiltrating a large amount of data using the OpenAI's application programming interface.
On that note, it is time for us to head into a short break. Coming up next, agri-tech startup DeHaat recently announced a successful acquisition of Agri Central in an all-cash deal. We get more on the deal on the other side. Stay tuned.
Mama must be missing us, na?
Let's take you for a spin, give me one day. Feel the itch under my skin, it's a one day. You believe it when you see we are done, hey. It doesn't matter, just gotta get going.
New GT line, Tygoon and Virtus. Volkswagen.
सर मुझे क्रिप्टो करके लाइफ बनानी है पर कॉन्फिडेंस नहीं है।
कॉन्फिडेंस चाहिए?
हाँ।
कॉन्फिडेंस चाहिए? Come on, you have to land it. कॉन्फिडेंस चाहिए? कैप्टन, इन्होंने सीखा है इसलिए ये कॉन्फिडेंट है। अगर आपको क्रिप्टो में कॉन्फिडेंस चाहिए तो क्रिप्टो सीखना होगा। CoinDCX, क्रिप्टो कोच, लर्न करो, क्रिप्टो करो।
सर आप स्माइल कर रहे हैं?
मैंने भी सीखा है।
Crypto products and NFTs are unregulated and can be highly risky. There may be no regulatory recourse for any loss from such transactions.
Web Summit Qatar is all about innovation and bringing the most brilliant entrepreneurs and investors in the region and beyond in Qatar all together in one place for a few days to exchange ideas, learn from each other, be inspired from each other.
ਪਿਛਲੀ ਵਾਰ 8 ਘੰਟੇ ਵਾਲੀ ਬਿਜਲੀ ਚੋਂ ਕੋਈ ਕੱਟ ਲੱਗਿਆ ਨਹੀਂ ਲੱਗਿਆ ਕੱਟ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਤਾਂ ਛੱਡੋ ਬੱਲਬ ਨੇ ਝਮੱਕਾ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਮਾਰਨਾ ਝਮੱਕਾ
ਸਾਨੂੰ ਬਿਲਕੁਲ ਵੀ ਬਿੱਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਆਂਦਾ ਅਸੀਂ ਬਹੁਤ ਖੁਸ਼ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਭਗਵੰਤ ਮਾਨ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਨੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਲਈ ਇਹ ਉਪਰਾਲਾ ਕੀਤਾ ਹੈ
ਜੋ ਸਾਡੇ ਸੀਐਮ ਭਗਵੰਤ ਮਾਨ ਜੀ ਨੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਹਰੇਕ ਵਰਗ ਨੂੰ ਦੇਖਦੇ ਹੋਏ ਸਾਰੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਵਾਅਦੇ ਆ ਉਹ ਪੂਰੇ ਕਰਦੇ ਹੋਏ ਸਾਡਾ ਬਿਜਲੀ ਦਾ ਬਿੱਲ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੈਗਾ ਏ ਉਹ ਜ਼ੀਰੋ ਆਇਆ ਏ
ਮੈਂ ਇੱਕ ਦਿਹਾੜੀਦਾਰ ਬੰਦਾ ਹੈਗਾ ਤੇ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਬਿੱਲ ਭਰਨਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਔਖਾ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਸੀਗਾ ਤੇ ਹੁਣ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਬਿੱਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਭਰਨਾ ਪੈਂਦਾ ਤੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਬਹੁਤ ਇਸ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਤੇ ਮਾਣ ਹੈ
ਸਰਕਾਰ ਨੇ 600 ਯੂਨਿਟ ਬਿਜਲੀ ਫ੍ਰੀ ਕਰਨ ਦਾ ਫੈਸਲਾ ਲਿਆ ਸੀ 90% ਘਰਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਉਹਦਾ ਫਾਇਦਾ ਹੋਇਆ ਅਸੀਂ ਭ੍ਰਿਸ਼ਟਾਚਾਰ ਰੋਕਿਆ ਅਸੀਂ ਰੈਵਨਿਊ ਦੇ ਹੋਰ ਸਾਧਨ ਵਧਾਏ ਨੇ ਤਾਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਬਿਜਲੀ ਫ੍ਰੀ ਦੇ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ ਤੇ ਕਿਸਾਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਬਿਜਲੀ ਫ੍ਰੀ ਮਿਲ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਇੰਡਸਟਰੀ ਨੂੰ ਵੀ
ਮੇਰਾ ਬਿਜਲੀ ਦਾ ਬਿੱਲ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ 1 ਸਾਲ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਆਵਾ ਤਾਂ ਤੇ ਹੁਣ ਵੀ 1 ਸਾਲ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਵੀ ਆਂਦਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗਾ ਜਦ ਆਹ ਭਗਵੰਤ ਮਾਨ ਦੀ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਬਣੀ ਆ ਜੀ
ਮੁੰਡਾ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਛੋਟਾ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਪਿਛਲੀ ਵਾਰੀ ਬਿੱਲ ਕਿੰਨਾ ਆਇਆ ਤਾਂ ਮਾਂ 3500 ਰੁਪਈਆ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਐਤਕੀ ਜ਼ੀਰੋ ਆਇਆ ਮਾਂ ਫਿਰ ਐਸਾ ਮੁੱਖ ਮੰਤਰੀ ਪੂਰੇ ਇੰਡੀਆ ਬਣਨਾ ਚਾਹੀਏ
Well, agri-tech startup DeHaat recently announced the successful acquisition of Olam Agri-owned Agri Central, one of the largest farm advisory platforms in India, in what's going to be an all-cash deal. The strategic acquisition of Agri Central, which is a platform with more than 10 million smallholder farmers, is going to enhance DeHaat's bouquet of digital farmer services and extend its outreach to these farmers. But for more on the acquisition and the synergies this is going to bring, I have with me Shashank Kumar, who's the co-founder and CEO of DeHaat. Shashank, thanks very much for your time here on CNBC-TV18. Start with the strategic factors behind the acquisition of Agri Central and how it aligns with your broader strategy for growth at DeHaat.
So thanks, Ritu. Thanks for having me. The construct behind this acquisition is a concoction of physical plus digital, and just to serve Indian farmers in a more efficient, in a more transparent manner. So as you know that DeHaat over last 12-13 years has already built a robust supply chain capability to almost 12 states and 126,000 villages while selling and while offering various agri inputs to farmers, or basically while aggregating more than 40 crops from the farmers, while helping the farmers to get access to finance and insurance and number of farmer services such as soil test or drone spray and number of such things. But here this Agri Central, which comes as a standalone content-based platform, which has already onboarded more than 10 million Indian farmers. But historically, they have just the content platform with no commerce. So this acquisition is nothing, is just like, getting more and more farmers in and around those geographies and pin codes where DeHaat has already developed its supply chain capability related to input, output, and financial services, Ritu.
Okay, and what were the financial contours of the deal, of this all-cash deal that you've signed?
Well, so quantum we are not disclosing because it's sensitive, for the company and which used to own Agri Central, which is Olam in this case. But I can tell you that that again they have built this platform by hearts. They have invested almost $12-13 million while building Agri Central for last 5-6 years. But the construct of this deal is that it's a full cash out deal, as you rightly said. But more importantly, all the KMPs, all the key management people, in fact, they all are going to join DeHaat. Post this transaction, we are going to own this entire platform. There are millions of farmers, their entire content, what they use to onboard and to engage farmers digitally, their entire the architecture and the data sets, Ritu.
Okay, no numbers, but you said that Agri Central's team and existing infra is going to get absorbed into DeHaat's operations. But give us a sense of what the combined network is going to look like.
Well, so the instrument is BTA. It's a slump sale. So eventually that's going to be part of DeHaat. As on date, as we speak, DeHaat standalone serves roughly 3 million farmers through our 13,000 DeHaat centers, through our 90 hubs across 130 districts of India. But this integration will give us access to another 10 million farmers. So you are absolutely right. I mean, this is super, super exciting for us because then altogether, DeHaat is going to have 13 million farmers on our platform, and not just the number of farmers who will be engaged through content, but also with our supply chain capabilities.
Well, serving 13 million out of 100 million farmers in India is quite the number. But tell us how this acquisition positions DeHaat against competitors in the sector, particularly in terms of scale, innovation, and also farmer impact.
As a category leader, we always aspire to take a longer and longer stride, not just in terms of more number of farmers, but also in terms of more and more number of offerings. And that's the reason why we are the largest full stack platform among all the agri-tech platforms, Ritu. But at the same time, it's not just the 13 million farmers. It's definitely not a full stop for DeHaat, because again, we aspire to reach to every individual Indian farmer in future. So this integration, this acquisition, that is also bringing a capability to onboard farmers digitally, to keep the farmers engaged digitally through the personalized, regionalized content, and more importantly, in a very, very time as well as cost-effective manner.
In FY24, we saw DeHaat post about 36% rise in revenues to 2720 crores. It also cut its operating losses down to about 245 crores. What is the timeline for breaking even, and where do you hope to end the current financial year at?
So FY25, again, same as many previous years. Again, in the current financial year, we are going to see another, I would say, 30-40% growth on annual basis, which has been very consistent and steady. And not just like, again, against FY24 to FY25, we feel that we can continue this. We can continue with this growth trajectory for next 7-8 years. That's the way how we have been building DeHaat, Ritu. But more importantly, Q4, as we speak, in fact, standalone, we are going to achieve full quarterly profitability. That's another point of inflection for DeHaat. And then on the success of that, basically, or on that